gentlemen, honorable judges, moderators, and audience, the resolution before us today is that be it resolved this House to support the surrender of civil liberties in the interest of national security. What this means is it is a balance between individual needs versus the needs of the group. There is a saying that goes, those who exchange civil liberties for security deserves neither. What this means is that if you put into jeopardy your civil liberties, your freedom of speech, your rights, then you will lose everything, including security and all those that you had in the first place. Now, our case line today is that civil liberties are the only way to ensure sustainable, long-term national security. What this means is that the need of one outweighs the need of the many. So what I'm going to be doing for you in my speech today is first I'm going to clash with what the government has said, and then I will be moving on into my own arguments. And my partner will be going into how national security is damaging and it is detrimental to security. Now, the honorable member has said that the needs of many outweighs the needs of one.
Why is the member on her feet?
I would ask the Madam Speaker a point of personal privilege.
Okay, what is your point?
I'm the Prime Minister, not an honourable member. I would appreciate being addressed correctly. So I would like an apology.
I'm gonna treat that as a point well taken, point not well taken, because while you are Prime Minister, you are also honourable, and I think that is good.
Now, as the Prime Minister has pointed out, that there are things such as search warrants for drugs and drug dealings, and arrests and raids. However, seeing as we are granted civil liberties for a reason, it is that being our founding fathers knew that we would need these, they based them upon what we need as civil rights and human needs. Now, the dangers of taking away free speech, what would it be, ladies and gentlemen? Have you ever heard of an example where free speech is taken away? Now, what this leads into is that the government will go unchallenged. This leads into a dictatorship, ladies and gentlemen. If the common people do not challenge what the government says and what the government does, then it will lead into an imbalance of power. The government will hold all
Why is
the
the member
power.
on her feet?
Well, I was wondering if the member opposite would like to take a question.
Yeah.
You said that it would lead into a dictatorship and that civil rights would be infringed upon because of this. What if that person's freedom of speech leads to promoting hatred among a large group of people?
However, our human rights, our civil rights, are that freedom of speech should be allowed for each individual person. If it leads into hatred, as the honourable member opposite has pointed out, then as long as it does not involve violence and anything that would be detrimental to the people of the society, then freedom of speech is allowed. And that is why our founding fathers decided that freedom of speech should be allowed as part of our civil liberties. And now, civil liberties, the rights of the individual, makes a sense of belonging and purpose for each individual person. If the government takes this away, then it would lead into mass conflicts, because I know, and has been proven before, that even if civil liberties have been taken away from people, they will still want to fight for the right to gain these civil liberties back again, leading into war, leading into conflicts that would be otherwise unnecessary if we would have not dealt with this issue in the first place. Now, I'm sure that you've all heard of the issue with Saddam Hussein, the dictator of Iraq. This I shall use as my example. Saddam Hussein was the dictator of Iraq, and his argument that he was dictator for a reason was that because he wants to protect Iraq. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what has this led into? If you want protection, if you want to protect your people, you should do so in a way that does not allow the people to have any more damage done unto them than it is already. And what this issue led into was that it led into war. It led into trouble with not just the people, but international business as well. And when the government goes unchallenged like this, if it does, then there is a problem. However, we know that people are still going to be able, they're still going to want to fight for the freedom they truly deserve. And this conflict will evolve into something much worse. And it was better, and it would be worse than it would the way it had started in the first place. So ladies and gentlemen, what have I done for you in my speech today? I have shown you that because that the government has not, that the government's priorities are wrong, that because individuals, national security is based upon the needs of individuals, and when the rights of individuals are put into jeopardy, then if the rights of individuals are not there, then national security would not be there either in the first place. So because of this, I have shown you that civil liberties are the only way to ensure a sustainable long-term national security, and that it provides a sense of belonging in people. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Would you like to have your civil liberties? Would you like to exchange your civil liberties for national security? It may be a good thing, but because national security is based on the needs of the people, of the individuals, then if we put that into jeopardy, then we are left with a very grave problem indeed. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, this resolution must stand.